Yo, what's up? It's your boy here, back at ya with a 2016 Canadian Grand Prix review. Now, I decided to do it in my kitchen because my exams are over. Yay! And I thought, why not mix this up with a review in my kitchen? Just like X90G, I am doing it in the kitchen, and yeah, that's all I've got to say. So, without further ado, let's get into today's video. So before I start, massive condolences and thoughts go out to Muhammad Ali and Louis Salom. Muhammad, because he was a legend in our eyes, you know, he was the greatest fighter ever lived. In my opinion, you know, he was a massive icon to all these democratic problems and all this stuff that was going on around him that he was fighting for. And then for Louis Salom, of course, you know, that tragedy in Catalonia that took him 1 week ago. And that was the reason why, even for both guys, that was the reason why I didn't do the Catalan Grand Prix review, because it was a bit much for me, both emotionally and personally for me. Even though I didn't know Louis Salom at all, I knew him a little bit, but I didn't know him a lot. But still, it was massive, to be honest, because we hadn't had a MotoGP incident like that since 2011 in I think Sepang with Marco Simoncelli, so it was quite massive for me, to be honest, and it was quite tragic, to be honest, because even to this day I thought MotoGP was alright in terms of the safety, but the fact that it isn't, we had that incident like that, just shows that motorsport is still dangerous. Motorsport is still dangerous, even with all this safety technology that's all going on the circuits and even on the bikes itself. So yeah, so tragic. And same with Muhammad Ali. My thoughts and prayers go out to both of them, of course. And yeah, man, it sucks. It really was a very, very sad weekend for me, of course. So before qualifying got underway for the Canadian Grand Prix, Massa had a bit of an off in practice at P1. He lost the rear end, hit the wall, and that was unfortunate for him. But thankfully, he was able to qualify, of course. But one man who wasn't, unfortunately, was Kevin Magnussen. He actually ran wide, had a bit of a moment, and hit the wall on the exit. I think it was 6, so yeah, he hit the wall very, very hard, and that unfortunately puts an end to his chance of doing well this weekend, as he would be starting at the back of the grid. So yeah, unfortunate. So as Q1 got underway, all the drivers came out on the circuit. It was a sort of mixed there were signs of rain being reported on the circuit, but thankfully there was no rain at all. There were drops of it, but no substantial rain, of course. So yeah, but at the front there was the 2 Mercedes, of course, Hamilton leading it, of course, by a couple of hundreds, I believe, to Nico Rosberg, and then the Ferrari behind. The Ferrari's doing well this weekend, very, very surprised, but mind you, it is Canada, one of their best circuits, you've got to say, for them. So yeah, same with Williams and maybe Red Bull, but they're not really that competitive to us, so yeah. But ultimately, in the end, it was Jolyon Palmer out to Q1, along with the 2 Saubers, 2 Manners, and of course Magnussen, his teammate, of course. Unfortunate for the Saubers, of course. Been having a tough year, I'd say, to be honest, especially with the tangle that they had in Monaco as well. It's really not been their season, to be honest, and hopefully they can bounce back and have really strong performances later down the line. So yeah, same with Renault, of course. Manor maybe not, because Manor, I guess, are not really as competitive car-wise as some of the other teams around them, the likes of Sauber, Renault, Toro Rosso, those kind of guys. So yeah. Then as Q2 got underway, there was dramas at the start of it, and that was for Carlos Sainz Jr. He was coming out of the chicane part and then hit the wall of champions, understeer straight to the wall of champions, and that was it for Carlos Sainz. Unfortunate, to be honest, because he looked set to beat his teammate once again, but I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles, to be honest, especially at the wall of champions. It could bite at any time, and unfortunately for Sainz, it bit on him as he was pushing hard to get a good lap time.
It's alright, it's alright.
And then as the session restarted, we had a couple of the drivers coming out. putting their lap times in. There were only 6 that put their lap times in before the wreck, so the rest of the field all had to go on track and do their lap times. Thankfully, the clock didn't continue like it would sometimes. It just stopped and that was it. So that was good to know, and that meant that a lot of the drivers got out there, did their laps that they wanted to do, and that was it, to be honest. Hamilton going out there fastest, of course. A couple of hundreds, like I said, is Q1 from Nico Rosberg, and the 2 Ferraris behind as well. But the guy that was out of Q2, Jenson Button, unfortunate for him, he had a bit of a mistake on his last run. His run on the last one could have been good for Q3 slot. Unfortunately, he made a mistake and that was it for him. And that which meant that Alonso, out of nowhere, came through to take a Q3 slot by moving up into 9th place. So a great job by Alonso. Bitterly frustrated for Button. He has been in Q3 for a while. So yeah, unfortunate, really unfortunate. But hopefully this ain't the last time he will not get a chance in Q3. But then as we got into Q3, the battle was on between the 2 Mercedes, the Ferraris, the Williams and the Red Bulls, of course, all fighting for supremacy within the team during qualifying. That was pretty much the case, to be honest, yeah. First runs, Hamilton went slightly quicker than Nico Rosberg, only by a couple of hundreds to Nico Rosberg. Behind, of course, was Sebastian Vettel, and then Ricciardo, Verstappen, Raikkonen, the 2 Williams headed by Bottas and Massa, Hülkenberg and Alonso, of course. And then in the second run, of course, Rosberg makes a mistake and he backs out of it, which meant that Lewis Hamilton would go for pole position. So that lap that he did on his first run was good enough for pole position. And even in the second run, it was still good, despite Rosberg not making that mistake. It would have still been good enough because he was a couple of tenths off in the first sector. So yeah, good job by Hamilton. Vettel in 3rd, good job by him as well. Ricciardo 4th, Verstappen 5th, Raikkonen 6th. Unfortunately for Raikkonen, I don't know what happened with Raikkonen's lap. I guess he wasn't up to par with Vettel in terms of his performance, especially during the season. He hasn't been up to par with Vettel. I'm just thinking, is this going to be the end for Ferrari in terms of Kimi Raikkonen? So I don't know. It's going to be quite interesting as the season goes on to see whether he will get dumped by Ferrari or Kimi Raikkonen. So we'll have to see on that one. But very interesting for Kimi Raikkonen there, finishing about half a second off Sebastian Vettel in qualifying. 7th and 8th headed by Bottas and Massa. 9th was Hülkenberg and 10th was Alonso. So very good qualifying indeed. A lot of quick times being set, but of course Lewis bettering Rosberg once again. Then as the race got underway, it was a good start from Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton, but my god, did Vettel get a good start. Jesus fucking Christ, holy shit. He got a great start and just pretty much married his way to first place. And then as they came into turn 1, Hamilton and Rosberg did an Austin from turn 1. Both cars hit each other, but instead of both of them running wide and losing positions, in fact it was Rosberg who lost positions. In fact, he ran wide, went through the escape road, and as he was coming back on, just all sorts of momentum which dropped him down to 10th, I think about 7th or 8th, I believe it was. So not a really good start from Nico Rosberg. In my opinion, I guess it was more Rosberg, because you know, Rosberg, he was on the outside, Hamilton was on the racing line, and he had every right to be on that racing line, to be honest, because he was on the inside, of course, going into turn 1. He was ahead as well, for that matter as well, so it didn't really make sense for Rosberg to continue going on the outside. I think really should back out of it, to be honest. So yeah, I guess really I think it was kind of Rosberg's fault, and as a result he paid the price, so yeah.
I'm the deepest in the cut, everybody tuning in.
Then, lap 12, Button's car let go. Unfortunately, he was running about 9th, I believe it was. So unfortunate for him, that meant that the virtual safety car was called. And Vettel made a really sort of bold call, and that was to pit for a set of super softs on lap 12. Now, I was thinking this is a very, very weird call, to be honest, you know, because they pitted so damn early, because normally we were all expecting it was going to be a one-stop strategy, because these guys could go to lap 30 and then pit, go for a set of soft tyres and then go to the end of the race, which was what most people were thinking. But with Vettel, he pitted on lap 12, so I was thinking, hold on, he could actually do a two-stop, so it could work out. But I don't know, it was going to be a bit risky, but it could have worked out, and yeah. And then later on, we saw Hamilton coming into the pits. I think it was lap 30, I believe it was, lap 30. He came into the pits, went into a set of soft tyres, because that's what you had to run. You had to run a set of soft tyres. So Hamilton really did a good call. Mercedes did a really good call by putting Hamilton onto a set of soft tyres. And coming out, he came out about 11 seconds behind Vettel and really started just closing him down, I think, to about 9-8 seconds, because Vettel had to stop again. So that meant that Hamilton would get the lead of the race if Hamilton could keep within that 19-second gap window that he would need to stay ahead of Vettel. And then afterwards, we from further back, we saw Nico Rosberg really charging hard. He overtook a couple of cars, including the Red Bull of Ricciardo and the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen, to move up into 5th place. And then as he was attacking Bottas in 4th place, he couldn't really get past. He was stuck behind him for like about 10 laps, I believe it was. Yeah, he really was struggling, and yeah, really couldn't get past Bottas. So really that Williams really quick in a straight line. We've seen it in the past, how that Williams has been so quick in the past, particularly in tracks like Canada, for instance, Silverstone, of course, Spa, and even Monza as well. So yeah, so the Williams really quick in a straight line, and as a result managing to fend off a fast charging Nico Rosberg. But then drama strikes, and that is for Nico Rosberg. Nico Rosberg has a slow puncher, which meant that he had to come into the pits and drop way down to 7th place. So that meant that he would have to fight his way back to the front of the field and really stop Hamilton clawing the points back, because at the moment he was one win behind Nico Rosberg points wise, with 25 points behind. So yeah, Nico had some serious work to do to make sure that didn't happen. And yeah, he did manage to get past Ricciardo, Raikkonen and Bottas as well. And yeah, it was on the attack of Verstappen. Also for retirement, Massa and Palmer were out. Massa, I'm not entirely sure what it was. Palmer, I think it was for some brake issue or something like that. Unfortunate for both of them, particularly for Massa as well. He was running like 7th, 8th, something like that in the points. So yeah, unfortunate for him. Wasn't really right up there with Bottas, but still in the points nonetheless, so unfortunate for him. Then as we go into the closing stages, we saw the Ferraris making a bit of a mistake, particularly for Sebastian Vettel. He actually made 2 mistakes actually on the final chicane. He ran wide. He locked up, ran wide, went through the chicane and lost a bunch of time to Lewis Hamilton. He actually did that earlier in the race. I just realised he actually did that earlier in the race as well. He locked his brakes up during the start, and yeah, he managed to save it and continue to lead the race. But the second time that he did it, and the third as well, he would lose valuable time to Lewis Hamilton and really lose all his momentum in terms of catching Lewis Hamilton, because Vettel was on new tyres, of course, so he was catching Hamilton at a rate of knots. But as he was doing that, he made a couple of rash mistakes, which cost him a chance of getting on which cost him a chance of winning the race, which is so unfortunate, to be honest. Not something that a driver wants to do, to be honest, make a lot of mistakes. I guess he must have been absolutely kicking himself so hard, the fact that he lost the opportunity to win the race in such a way like that. So yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, it was still a stellar job. He came home to finish second at the end of the day, so yeah, at least it was a good job at the end of the day.
It's alright, it's alright. I'm just going with the gut.
Not only that, Kimi Raikkonen made a couple of mistakes, and he made 2 as well, so sort of the same as Vettel as well. He would drop well down the field. He would drop behind the Williams, the Red Bulls, that kind of battle in 7th place. Yep. But on the last remaining laps, we saw Nico Rosberg closing up to Max Verstappen. I talked about that earlier, about him closing up. So yeah, he closed up to him, and really we had this insanely good battle for third place. For fourth, yeah, because Bottas was in third. So yeah, I don't know, for some odd reason he was in third. So yeah, that happened. And Nico Rosberg was behind Max Verstappen. He was closing him down. Verstappen defended the inside quite beautifully, to be honest. A lot of people thought that was quite dangerous, a bit rude of him, but at the end of the day, he didn't swerve a lot of times. He only made that one crucial move, which was what you're supposed to do in F1, which is fair enough from his part. So he wasn't dirty at all. I thought it was awesome defence from his part. But then on the last lap, well, on the second to last lap, Nico gets an insane run on Max Verstappen. He tries to go down the outside, tries to do a move around the outside into the chicane, and as he's doing that, he loses the rear end and spins into the runoff area at the chicane, and that will be the end of his chance of getting fourth place of Max Verstappen. So and actually as well, he almost lost it to Kimi Räikkönen, who was running in sixth place at the time. So very, very lucky from Nico Rosberg there, almost a repeat of Monaco. So yeah. Personally, what do I think of it? I thought Verstappen had every right to be in the position that he was. He was defending extremely well. I just think that Nico just got really, really frustrated and just tried a really daring move that didn't work. And as a result, it caught him out, and he spun out of control into the runoff area at the chicane. And I mean, like I said, he was just trying way too hard, being way too desperate for fourth place. I mean, he could at least backed out and tried again at the start from the straight, or even tried at the last lap at least. But he just pushed it way too far. I mean, he wanted to go for it, he was committed, he was going for it, he was trying to do something that he did with Räikkönen and Ricciardo extremely well, but this time it didn't work out, especially as he had a hard charging Verstappen ahead of him, just holding him back as much as he can. So yeah, I think Rosberg being way too desperate with Verstappen. I think he should have been more patient and waited maybe for the next straight, or maybe the last lap even, to make a move. In the end, it was Lewis Hamilton who came through to win the race. He made that one-stop strategy work out. When others were thinking it wasn't going to work, he actually made it work. Behind Sebastian Vettel, unfortunate, especially with those mistakes. I mean, if he didn't make those mistakes, he would have easily. He may have had a chance of winning the race. I wouldn't say he would have easily won the race, but he would have had a chance of winning the race. There was Bottas. Good drive by him, especially for Williams as well. They haven't had a podium in ages, so that's awesome to see them in the podium. Verstappen in fourth, good drive by him. Fifth was Rosberg. Great to see him sort of eke out ahead of Räikkönen, because Räikkönen was behind. He was about like 9/10 behind coming to the line, so it was very, very close. Räikkönen sixth, of course, and that is all I know so far. So
I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life.
A very, very good Grand Prix. Enjoyed the Grand Prix. It was very interesting indeed. Particularly with the battle at the front between Lewis and Vettel. Lewis trying that one-stop strategy, and Vettel trying the two-stop strategy. But thankfully, Lewis's one-stop strategy managed to work over Sebastian Vettel's two-stopper. So so overall, I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 10. It wasn't action-packed as Monaco, but it was good nonetheless. It was intriguing from a strategic point of view. So yeah, that's it guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this new setting, to be honest. I thought I'd give it a go, to be honest. If you guys want me to do more of this sort of video, these types of videos, I mean, leave it down below. Subscribe if you're new, by the way. Comment below what you thought about the race as well. Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Was it interesting? So yeah, leave them down below, whatever you have. And subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys next time. Boy, I'm out.